just scoot it over. Welcome everybody to Adams Polish's weekly live video. Every Wednesday at 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, Denver time, whatever. Today I wanted to do this last week actually, but it snowed last week, so we did a quick Q&A. So today we're doing and talking about Adams Polish's H2O Garden Gloss. Now, H2O Garden Gloss has been in our line for roughly 8 years now. I remember when this first came out actually in 2015, and sort of a unique product, and I think it's something that gets underutilized. I also think it's something that sort of misunderstood a little bit, but it's one of those products, definitely one of my favorites in the line, but something that's just really easy to use and super unique. So today I'm going to talk about how to use it, the process at which you use it, and sort of best practices, because I know for sure we get a lot of questions around like, man, I tried to use that and it was really streaky and not great. But it's one of those, I think, once you understand the process, once you figure it out, it's something that you can't let go of because it's a really, really cool product. So we're live on TikTok here and we're live on Facebook there. So hello everyone on TikTok, hello everyone on YouTube. So thank you guys for watching. For anyone that's local or anyone that wants to buy a last minute plane ticket, we are currently getting set up for our tent sale. We do an annual big tent sale here at headquarters. And essentially what it is are, we'll get a returned item that is still functional, or maybe we'll get 2 returned items. One has a problem and the other one has a different problem, and we piece them together and then make them work and new again. Or we'll get, we get a shipment from our manufacturer and we'll get like a damaged package that we can't, we just personally at Adams Polishes couldn't bear sending it to our customers because it's just like a bad image and doesn't look good. So what we get is we have a lot of dead stock, I guess you could call it. So what we do is we run a big tent sale locally at 50% off or more. And we have all this stuff out here, which is mainly washing stuff. So you see pressure washers, all this stuff. And if you come inside here, you'll see we have a lot of other stuff. We have air cannons, we have detailing stools, a lot of product, and there's always some gems kind of sprinkled inside of there. So just a great opportunity to get, starts at 9 o'clock, goes till 2 in the afternoon. I'd say get here early because we usually have a line. That's why we have tables all lined up right here. We have a line going down and around the corner. So usually a pretty big event. Again, really cool event to be able to get Adams Polish's products at a really great price. So don't miss out this weekend, 9 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. All right, let's jump into this. Now, before I start, remember these live videos are intended to help you guys. So if you have questions about anything Adams Polishes, you can ask in the comments. Elam will catch them the best he can and he'll ask me. So it doesn't have to be H2O Garden Gloss related. It could be washing related, ceramic coating related, whatever you guys want to know, please ask. All right, so I picked this car specifically because it was cleaned yesterday. Now H2O Garden Gloss is a product that you would be utilizing after you've washed your car and you have rinsed it, so your car would be wet. So what I'm gonna do first is get the car nice and wet. Now, essentially what I'm gonna be doing is putting a layer of protection on the car, a polymer sealant protection, as well as drying the car all at the same time. And the only thing I need for this process are 2 borderless gray microfiber towels like that, and 1 16-ounce bottle of H2O Garden Gloss. So between those 2 things, I'm gonna be utilizing that to dry the car essentially. So most of the time what I'd be doing, and I'll show you this here in a second, I'm gonna rinse this car off so the whole thing is wet, and then I'll show you how I go about using this to dry it off. So imagine that the car is all suds down right now and we're rinsing it off, okay? What's that?
Oh, we're in Colorado.
Oh yeah, Colorado. While I rinse this off, just let me know if you guys have any questions while I rinse this off. Elon can look for some questions and ask me, and then I'll answer them.
Can you use H2O Gloss with ceramic coating, and does it enhance it?
Yes, so that's actually one of the main questions we get about this is, can you use H2O Garden Gloss on top of a ceramic coating, and does it enhance it? So yes and yes, all right? So the H2O Garden Gloss has a touch of SiO2 or silica in it, which bonds to ceramic coating, which is a polysilazane. So it's actually a really great product as like a maintenance product for a ceramic coating. So I tend to do this like every month or so on my cars when I'm washing them. The nice thing about the H2O Garden Gloss is the protection it provides sort of a little bit different than a ceramic coating. It's like a thicker layer of polymer sealant. So the gloss enhancement you get from H2O Garden Gloss is just really awesome. And I think for me, like the part that I love about it is it kind of kills two birds with one stone. Like you can dry your car and put like high gloss onto it, but also protect it all at the same time. So yes, you absolutely can use this over a ceramic coated vehicle. And actually, I think this car has been ceramic coated, so. Yeah, yeah.
Spray, is there any reason to purchase the glass ceramic coating? Is it any better than the spray coating?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question. So, hold on one second. Just want to get this sprayed down. So somebody asked, did they say they did the spray coating already?
Yeah, he says I have a bottle of advanced spray coating.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this person has a bottle of the advanced spray coating, advanced graphene ceramic spray coating, and they're wondering, like, you know, do I need the glass coating? We have a graphene glass coating as well. And so what we learned on our graphene coatings, because you can put that on every exterior surface, whether it's a spray or whether it's a little 60 ml bottle, those put a layer of graphene ceramic coating on top of the surface. But glass is sort of a different material than paint, all right? Glass is actually, on a microscopic level, like very porous naturally. So our ceramic coatings, being a thick film, almost create like a veneer on top. So they kind of sit on top of the glass. They don't actually, the coatings don't actually penetrate the pores of the glass, versus our glass coating actually penetrates the pores of the glass. So now, as of recently, what we tell people is, if you want the maximum effectiveness of hydrophobic properties on your glass, the graphene glass coating is by far the best. So for the person asking, if you have the advanced spray coating already, perfect, keep that, use it, but before you actually put that on the rest of the vehicle, on the whole vehicle, if you have the glass coating, put that on first, okay? So if you put the graphene glass coating on first, it's gonna penetrate the pores of the glass. Then you could put the advanced spray coating on top to even bolster that coating that's on the glass. It's gonna make it that much more effective. But here's the thing, if you don't have the glass coating and you don't wanna wait, just put the spray coating on everything and you'll be fine. But what you'll notice is the coating won't last as long on your glass as it does on your paint, because your windshield wipers are going to abrade that off a little bit faster. So hope that answers it. Okay, so H2O Garden Gloss. So we have a car that's nice and rinsed off. nice and wetted down. Okay, so first things first, what you want to do with H2O Garden Gloss is you want to get one towel wet. Okay, I have 2 dry borderless gray towels. And you know what's funny? I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the reason why we initially sold the borderless gray towel was we wanted a gray towel to go with the gray product. We tried to color code everything earlier on in the business. And so the borderless gray towels were actually brought in specifically for H2O Garden Gloss. So what I did is I removed the tip from the pressure washer, so it's just a nice stream like this. Because what happens is if you leave the tip on and you pull this, it's gonna blast the towel out of your hand onto the ground. Get it just like stream first. And what we're gonna do is, even if you get the car wet, it's okay. But you're gonna get the towel as wet as possible. Are you serious?
Yeah. 2 days only.
But Phil, that means you don't have to work as hard.
Yeah, it feels definitely better than a car wash if you can do it. Car washes are great. Obviously, they're quick. You can do it on your drive home from work. You can do it on your drive to the supermarket, anywhere. But we recommend a car wash because you get to use a wash pad, and it just makes the car. It just gets the car a lot cleaner. You can drying it with a drying towel. You'll just get a lot better results than an actual car wash. But by all means, car washes are great too if you need to do it quick.
They're talking about the drive-through car wash?
Yeah, is a detail better than going to a car wash?
So for lingo at Adams Polishes, a detail, the word detail,
A touchless car wash.
yeah, so the word detail is a little bit different than a car wash. Like a car wash is something you do every couple weeks. That's where you get your buckets out, you wash the car. A drive-through car wash is like you take it to a place. Now, a detail to us more is like you have a clean car, you clay bar it, you polish it, you put protection on. So a detail and then car wash are sort of 2 different things. There's 2 different kind of phases to car care. So a detail is like very involved polishing, ceramic coating. Now, car wash, a drive-through car wash, here's the thing. There's 2 different kinds. There's a touchless one, which is like they spray chemical on your car, then they rinse it off, you go through the blower and you drive away. There's the other car wash, which is a touch car wash, which has these big, what do you want to call it, like brushes, right? So they spray foam and soap on your car, and then those brushes like hit your car and then you drive away. First things first, a touchless car wash is not very effective, okay? Like it's gonna get your car clean only so far, okay? So number 1, not gonna get your car as clean as you probably would want. Secondly, the touch car wash has those brushes. Now, listen, I don't know how many cars went before you or how many cars went after you and how dirty the cars were. So let's say you have an off-road guy that just went 4-wheeling and he has mud all over his car and he takes it through the car wash and those brushes get incorporated with all that mud and you drive in 5 cars later. That mud is not cleaned out of those brushes. So then that gets hit on your car, creates scratches, still not very effective at cleaning. So a drive-through car wash can only get you so far. Yes, they're easy. Are they effective? Not really, okay? So doing a car wash at your house with 2 buckets and, you know, following kind of the proper car wash techniques, first off, is gonna be more enjoyable for you. Secondly, your car is gonna love it because it's gonna keep your car looking good, right? You're gonna introduce less scratching, less damage in which you have to correct later down the road, okay? So I would say like, yeah, if you wanna take it through a drive-through car wash, great. Now the second part of this, if you put a ceramic coating on your car, it doesn't mean that your car is bulletproof. You can't take it through a drive-through car wash and you're not gonna get scratches. It's just not the reality. So makes it a little bit easier to clean, but it doesn't make it so you don't get scratches at all. So a drive-through car wash can be okay, just not very effective. What I will say is the ones that we like to use at Adams Polishes and it kind of in the detailing industry are the pay and spray car washes, okay? You still drive your car there, but you can take your own bucket with your own soap, your own wheel cleaning tools, and use the pressure washer in the pay and spray car wash, which is more effective than doing the drive-through car wash. So just keep that in mind. And on Adams Polishes YouTube, we have a ton of videos about how to wash your car at a pay and spray all that kind of stuff, all right? Okay, so the car's wet. I got one towel of the borderless gray towels wet. This is damp, it's sort of wet, okay? Now, what I do is I'm gonna fold this twice. Okay, so I have a nice square. And then what I'm gonna do, the sun is right there, okay? The sun's beating on this side of the car, so I'm trying to avoid getting water spots right now. So what I do is I take the H2O Garden Gloss, I give it maybe 5 sprays like that, okay? And then I spray it twice into my towel. Now this towel is the application towel, all right? So this towel, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna work this into the glass, the trim, and the paint. Okay, I'm gonna do this whole side of the car. And you'll see, it goes on kind of streaky, okay? And that's fine. Your initial application of the H2O goes on sort of streaky. Now, once you have the layer of it on here, like this, then you take your dry towel and you buff it off, and it makes it perfect. Bye, Chris. Now, here's the concept, okay? So, H2O Garden Gloss is a polymer sealant, okay? Before ceramic coatings, polymer sealants were the best protection you could put on your vehicle, okay? So, H2O Garden Gloss is a nice, thick product. Put another sprays into the towel. Now the thing with polymer sealants is that when you put them on, they can be streaky. They're just a really thick type of product. And at Adams Polishes, we used to have a product called paint sealant. Okay, paint sealant was a thick polymer sealant, essentially hardens into a resin, not a ceramic, not a glass. Okay, hardens into a resin. And the resin has hydrophobic properties on it. And that's what protected your car. Now, because the resin is not as hard and as durable as a ceramic coating, it just doesn't last as long. Now, the paint sealant was a great product, but you had to apply it almost like a wax. You couldn't get it onto trim, things like that. So essentially what they did, what our chemist did, is he created this product, H2O Garden Gloss. And what you're doing is you're using the water on the car. Is it streaky?
Yeah, you just haven't hit it with the dry towel.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah, just like that right there.
Essentially what we're doing is we're using the water on the car to dilute the product, okay? So you spray this on here, it incorporates with the water on the car, and you take this, and not only is your towel picking up the water, but it's spreading the sealant across the whole car while you're drying it. So it's a sort of unique process as to which you would put protection on your car. But again, like I said before, it's like you're killing two birds with one stone, because not only am I drying, like look at the side of this car. I mean, how shiny and perfect is it? And I'm essentially drying the car and protecting it all at the same time. All right, now,
So less is more with H2O?
less is more, yeah. So, like here, come check this out, Elin. Like, see this right here? This is where the H2O is, okay? I don't know if you can see it from this side.
I got the sun on me too. So
Come stand like right here.
you see it?
It looks like streakiness,
Yeah.
okay? See that?
Yeah.
That's just because I thinned it out with the water, the H2O Garden Gloss. Now when I take the dry towel and wipe over it, it's just perfect.
What about if you miss a spot?
If
and
you-
it dries.
So if you miss a spot and it dries, so what I like to do, you have to do this fast, especially if you're doing this outside, because I'm trying to avoid water spots right now. That's also why I started on this side, because I'm doing it in the side directly in the sun, and then I'll move to the side that's in the shade, right? So if you miss a spot, say like right here, what you do, you have your wet towel again, okay? You spray one spray into the wet towel, you go over the spot you missed really quick, then hit it with the dry towel, and it makes it perfect.
And what if you miss it completely and say you park the car and come back and you've got a spot spot on your hood somewhere, can you use detail spray?
Yeah.
Or...
So yeah, somebody essentially asked like, well, what if you miss a spot completely? You know, you come back and, you know, you see like a spot of the H2O garden gloss that you forgot to even off with the wet towel. Generally speaking, you can use like our pink detail spray to wipe it off. Okay? But listen, we're working with sealants now. This is a sealant, right? So it's much easier to work with than, say, a ceramic coating. All right, ceramic coating high spots are just a whole different story, okay? Because it's such a much harder surface. Versus this, it's a little bit easier to work with, okay? So usually detail spray, waterless wash. Listen, if you wanted, you could just hit a towel with a hose of water and just give it like one spray of H2O, hit it and wipe it off, and it will work every time, okay? So yeah, any leftover high spots or anything, you just re-wet it, rehydrate it with either detail spray, waterless wash, or a wet towel with H2O garden gloss. Go over it with your dry towel and it levels off perfect. Now, one thing I do want to show you guys is the more water that I pick up with my towel, you can see it left a ton of water streaks up here. See that? So that means my towel is overloaded with water inside the towel. So when that happens, what you want to do is take the towel and you're just going to wring it out. You want the excess, so look how much excess water's in here. That's from me drying the car, right? So now I'm back to just having a damp towel, okay? And now we go back to what we were doing before, okay? So sprayed it into the towel, hit it with the H2O like this. And look, I'm picking up all this water because remember, I'm drying and sealing the car all in one. Okay, so now Elan's gonna be able to show you how streaky of a mess that is. But if instead of thinking it of being streaky, think of it as being, I applied a layer of protection to the car. Almost like when you apply brilliant glaze or apply, say apply brilliant glaze or maybe apply a wax, it hazes over and then you wipe it off with the towel. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna leave that so you guys can see like, oh shoot, I forgot to wipe that off. What do I do now? And I'll show you here in a little bit. But I'm gonna keep going. Now, one thing I notice is on this side that the car's starting to get a little bit dry. If you have to, if you're starting to, you know, if it's like a really hot day, now this is a pro tip from Adam's Polishes, all right? If it's a really hot day, like in the 90s, like today is pretty hot, 85, this is starting to dry on the car. You can always grab your pressure washer with the tip on it, and you can just hit the car really fast with water. Okay, so put the tip on, make sure it's on, point it away from the car. Okay, now I can just hit the car really quick. Okay, now I'm back to the wet towel, spraying the sealant on like so. So you see how the sealant's just like incorporated in here? And again, I have this sprayed onto this side of the towel. Take this, watch how it goes on. It puts this like perfect thick layer of sealant. As I apply this, it's just so great. And I wish you guys could be here with me because it's so slick once you're done wiping it off.
And then for the streaks, for TikTok, we have this dry towel right here. So you have a wet, damp one,
Yep.
and then dry. And he'll hit it with the dry towel right
Yep.
after this.
So right after I often do like a quarter of the car, like maybe half the car. So that was my wet towel, okay? Now I have a completely dry towel and you just go over this. Granted, inside of his glass is pretty dirty, but you can see it's almost like wiping away a wax or even sealing a little bit. Oh, it's just amazing. So the thing I really like about this product so much, and also why Adam likes this product so much, is that like traditionally when you're gonna dry this car, you wanna try to pull it inside into the shade, right? And traditionally what you'd be doing is you pull it inside, you'd have a drying towel, maybe a drying aid, and you would dry the whole car off, and then guess what you have to do? Apply protection to it, right? Essentially what I'm doing right now is drying the car and putting protection on it all at the same time. So what it does is it makes your whole washing and drying and sealing process more efficient because you're combining two things into one process. Okay? So listen, things that make detailing products so great are things that enhance the detailing process. They make the detailing process either easier or they make them more efficient. You know, that's personally why I like using the wheel and tire cleaner when I clean my wheels, because I don't need to worry about two different products. Now, the thing about that is, you know, wheel cleaner is a little bit more specific to a type of brake dust that's on the car.
How often should you apply H2O Garden Gloss?
You know,
If your car's coated or not coated, like both.
yeah, that's a good question. So somebody asked, how often should you apply H2O Garden Gloss, whether your car is coated or not coated? I would say if your car is coated, you probably don't need to do it as often, maybe once a month when you're washing. If your car is not coated and you're using H2O Garden Gloss as your primary source of protection for your car, which, listen, a lot of people do. I'm sure there's a lot of people on the live here that could comment and say, this is like the only thing I use. There's a lot of customers that come into our store that only use H2O Garden Gloss as their primary source of protection. If you're using it as your primary source of protection, I'd say like every third or fourth wash. You don't need to do it every time. I'm sure you could and it would be fine. It's just a little excessive. And because it does put such a thick layer on the surface, you know, you don't need to do it as often. So check this out. I went to wipe this and it's like not doing anything. So what I'm gonna do is take the damp towel again, run the damp towel over the surface, and just hit it with. And the other thing too, this took me a little bit of time to learn when I started using this product, is that by the time you get closer to the end of using H2O Garden Gloss, you don't need to be spraying so much into the towel, into the wet towel, okay? Because you're picking up all this H2O Garden Gloss as you go around the whole car. It starts to get overloaded with the protection, all right? So by the time you get to maybe the halfway mark, you probably don't even need to spray the H2O Garden Gloss into the towel. I think I just naturally do that and I end up using too much product. But I work here, so I get it for a good price. But
Is it similar to CS3?
is it similar to CS3? It is not even close to CS3. So H2O Garden Gloss is, again, it's like a polymer sealant, but it's not something that you spray on the surface and wipe off. So watch this, okay? I'm gonna spray it. Actually, here, watch. I'll spray it on the glass here and I'll spray it right here. And I'll use it as like how you would use CS3, okay? So CS3 is like this. Spray it on and then you wipe it off. Okay, so what happens is the H2O Garden Gloss is just a really thick, like, watch when it comes out of the thing, I'll just leave it. It's like a thick, how would you even describe that, Elon? It's like,
It's almost like a tire dressing in a way.
Yeah, it's
not
like
as thick, but close.
almost like a gel, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't even, that's not really what I want to say, but it's a
It's like something.
it's a thicker formula, okay? So, and it's supposed to be like that. The reason why it's like that is because it has a high concentration of of polymer sealant in it. So I was kind of describing this before. It seems like a little weird, but essentially like what I'm doing is I'm using the water that's on the vehicle and the water that's in this wet towel to dilute the thick sealant. So then I can spread it around with the wet towel. And then it's like, and then essentially what I'm doing is I'm spreading it around, I'm applying it to the surface, and I take the dry towel and I even it off and wipe it off. So the application is a little bit wonky, I guess would be like, I don't even know like how to describe it. It's like, it's such a unique process. I can't even compare it really to anything, but essentially think about like if you had a wax that was super highly concentrated in a bottle, right? It was like really thick and you sprayed it out, but it was really hard to use because it was so thick you just kind of like moved it around the surface. That's essentially what H2O Garden Gloss is, just not a wax, it's a sealant. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, like down here is a really good example. This front clip here, there's a ton of water down here. So I'm gonna spray the H2O Garden Gloss into this water, onto the water, and then as I take the towel and I move the water off, but also spread the sealant around, I'm diluting the polymer sealant, applying it to the rest of the surface. And then once it's applied like that, then I just take the dry towel as if like I'm buffing off wax or anything, and you wipe it off. And now it's dry and the sealant has been applied and is on the surface now. So it's awesome.
When's our tent sale going?
Tent sale is happening this Saturday from 9 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon, Colorado time.
Here at HQ?
Here at headquarters. So come and get detailing products for a really good price.
Is Slick and Slide a good topper for in between?
Oh yeah, that's actually a great, I'm glad somebody, did somebody ask that?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect question. Somebody said, is Slick and Slide a good topper for this? 1,000%, not even a question. Like, so what I would say is, God, can you feel this? It's so good.
I got two.
Yeah, Elan's double fisting the cameras, but anyways, this just feels so incredibly smooth. That's like another thing about the H2O Garden Gloss is it's putting a thicker layer of protection of the sealant on top of the car, and it just, the slickness of this product is incredible. Anyways, so somebody asked, is Slick and Slide a good topper for H2O Garden Gloss? And the answer is 1,000,000%. They both contain like the same type of protection agents in it. That's why this is so slick. It's like kind of the same feeling of Slick and Slide, but Slick and Slide is just an even more less concentrated version of H2O Garden Gloss. So Slick and Slide, I would say you could use that sort of as your waterless wash or a quick detail type of product on top of H2O Garden Gloss, and it will just keep this surface so slick and shiny. And Slick and Slide is just a really, really great product. So yeah, if you're not needing to fully wash the vehicle, like let's say you did H2O Garden Gloss, your car looks amazing like this, right? You take it to Cars and Coffee, you come back home, you don't need to really wash the whole thing. It just has some pollen or some dust on it. Slick and Slide that thing and it's gonna be like, it's gonna be looking amazing. Yeah, Slick and, oh, here we go.
August said nice shoes.
Oh, thanks, man, yeah. I'm into the dunks.
For this one, we're not having an online tent sale. This is just at HQ.
Yeah, this is our annual in-person tent sale at Adams Polish's headquarters. So
we do online tent sales at times too, though.
yeah, we do online tent sales here and there, but this one, listen, for how much you're gonna save on detailing products, you might as well buy a plane ticket and come here and buy some stuff. But here's the problem, you can't really take it on the plane. So, or if you fly private, you probably could. But anyways, so really quick, earlier in the video, I did the H2O Garden Gloss here, and I didn't wipe it off very specifically because people are asking about high spots or streakiness. You can really see it on this side. Yeah.
Can we apply it to a ceramic coated car?
Oh, yes, you can apply it to a ceramic coated vehicle. Do you see this?
Sort of.
Oh, the sky just looks.
So the blue on blue is making it a little
If
hard.
I stand here, does it help?
Take one step towards me. Yeah, okay, man. Hopefully you guys can see that. There's streaks all over it.
It looks sort of like high spots a little bit. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see
You
one
wanna
of them.
see which one?
We'll try this one. I'm switching to. Joe's got the TikTok camera now. So let's see if I can. Yeah, you can kind of see it like right in here, right where my finger's pointing, right there. Okay, it's like a sort of high spots. It looks like that on the whole vehicle. Maybe if I put my hand down it. Okay, so those kind of high spots and streakiness, you can really see it a little bit on the glass. What happens is, so this, somebody was asking like, oh, if I miss wiping it off and I have like high spots or streakiness on the surface, like what do I do? Well, you have to fully sand and polish your car. No, you take a damp, so if, let's say that you caught this a day later and you didn't have your wet and dry towel with you at that exact time, what you can do is grab the two towels, okay, both dry, grab the one and get it wet. You don't need to get it like, sopping wet. Grab your H2O that you used the day before, spray one spray into it, and just go over the surface that has the streaky high spots, like that. So essentially you're rehydrating the spots that you went over already. Then as soon as you do that, take your dry towel and go over it, and it evens it out perfect. So this now is like a perfect mirror. Looks amazing. There's no streaks whatsoever. Also on the glass. So you're sort of wetting it. You could probably get away with just using a damp towel with no H2O in it, but I like using the H2O on top of the H2O to remove the high spots. So there you go. That right there, perfection.
How's the UV protection on it? Does it add UV protection?
UV protection is pretty good. I'd say it's like not as robust or not as effective as like a ceramic coating, but still works pretty good. And here's the thing, with H2O Garden Gloss, is something you want to do, if it's your primary source of protection, you're doing it every third to fourth wash. If you're doing it on a ceramic coated vehicle, which already has great UV protection, you're doing it kind of every month or maybe every couple months. And listen, I talk about this a lot actually in our videos. I view all of our stuff as different tools in my tool belt, right? So ceramic coating is its own tool, okay? Car shampoo is its own tool. Mega foam is its own tool. Swirl killer is its own tool, right? H2O Garden Gloss is a tool for me to be able to add shine and slickness to my finish. Even if my car is ceramic coated, it's gonna add this thick layer of polymer sealant to it, and it's gonna create a really great gloss enhancement. But all the while, I'm drying my car all at the same time. So my efficiency of my car being from the beginning I start washing to like when I'm done drying the car is faster. And I'm also, during that drying process, I'm adding polymer sealant to it. So a very, very unique product. And again, I think it's something that's sort of misunderstood, which is fine. What I want to do in these videos is teach people how to use this, the best practices on this, because trust me, let's say that you have done like a one-step polish, or you polished your car and you've put ceramic coating on it, okay? That's just like one phase of detailing. That's sort of like the correcting and protecting phase, right? That's just like, that's not something that you do consistently all the time, right? It's not like every week you're polishing your car. Every month you're not polishing your car. Listen, most people probably polish their car once a year, if not once every 2 years. All the stuff in between that is the maintaining part of it, okay? So you correct your car, you protect it. Now you're just chasing perfection for as long as you possibly can till you get to the point where you're like, you know what, I gotta polish my car again. So what do you do in between that to really keep your car looking great? Well, number one, a great washing routine. So 2 bucket wash, 2 wash pads, utilizing the right soap, having a grit guard. That's fundamental number one, proper washing technique. Number two, what are some maintenance products that you can use to help keep your ceramic coated car looking amazing? Or even if your car is not ceramic coated, who cares? You can protect it with a bunch of different things like H2O garden gloss and other stuff, right? But how are you applying your protection if you didn't put the ceramic coating on? Or how are you even protecting or maintaining your ceramic coating? Well, this is one of those tools that you can dry and seal your car all at the same exact time. And it's just super beneficial to your car. It creates this really slick layer of protection on your car. So when you get to washing it, it makes it even that much easier. Like, check this out. I'll spray the car now that it has the H2O garden gloss on it, and you can just see I mean, before it looked good already because I think there's spray coating on this car. You can just come to the back, Elon. But this car is glowing right now. I mean, God, it looks good. You want to see it's just a different kind of shine. It's like you know this, Elon, like cars that are single stage paint versus clear coated paint, they just look different. This
single stage 30-year-old car.
Yeah. But like the H2O garden gloss, just the way it goes on, like after it's done, it just looks different and like reacts with the light different. You want to see the water behavior on this? I'm going to hit this back part because it goes, ready?
Yep.
Like the water beading is amazing. So here, let me see this. So and on the glass, right? So you're getting a very similar hydrophobic effect that ceramic gets, right? Now, remember again, this is that kind of protection. It's not going to last as long as ceramic. You're going to get a very similar effect. But if you're doing this process every third or fourth wash, your car's always going to bead water like this, no matter what. Right? So here, look here, check out the stream too. It's like you can almost like dry the car with water, right? Like this is dry. You know, so the slickness of the surface of that H2O garden gloss provides is just amazing. I think here's the thing. I'll be 100% candid and honest right now, since we're on the live, right? And I'm not talking specifically. I mean, I'm talking specifically about one thing, but I think a lot of times in our industry, we get caught up with ceramic is the best, ceramic is the best. And I think as a protection agent, generally the properties you get from a ceramic coating are better. The thing about ceramic is the commitment of effort and time tends to be a little bit higher. So it's like, it's one of those things that's like, you got to spend extra time, a little bit of extra elbow grease of polishing your car, doing all that stuff. The upfront effort is high, but the long-term reward is good and easy, right? Versus something like H2O garden gloss, which is going to provide just an absolutely amazing layer of protection of sealant. But listen, the effort is pretty normal throughout every time that you use it. So, you know, if you're the kind of person that doesn't necessarily want to go all out to polish your car and all out to put the ceramic coating on, and you're looking for an easy solution of protection, incorporate H2O garden gloss into your drying process every third or fourth wash, right? So, and it depends on the frequency at which you wash. Like Adam Patali, the founder of Adam's Polishes, washes his car twice a week, no matter what. It's just, he's obsessed with it. So like every 3 weeks, roughly, he would be using H2O garden gloss. And I'll tell you, he does use this. He loves this product. It's just a really, really great experience. So any questions around more specifically H2O garden gloss? Do people want to see the water beading again? That was like great. I just love the way this feels. What do you think, Elon?
Trying to read comments.
What?
I'm trying to read comments and questions with my brother right now.
Okay. Do you need help?
Can you go back and forth with using H2O and CS3?
Yeah. So here, I think I have some CS3 in here. Let me grab that and I'll just show you the difference. Yeah, definitely. Somebody asked any reason to use brilliant glaze over the top of H2O Garden Gloss. Any reason? Yeah. The reason for brilliant glaze on top of H2O Garden Gloss is shine enhancement. So, you know, I would say, here's the thing. H2O Garden Gloss is protecting quite a bit. And because it's protecting quite a bit, you know, I tend to say like H2O Garden Gloss isn't something you're, you know, most likely not going to use on a show car, you know, because you don't really wash show cars a ton. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm trying to find CS3. There we go. Just a little bit left. Okay, I found the CS3. All right, so we're getting a lot of questions around.
Yeah, real quick on TikTok, can you use spray on ceramic in the sun? That's always a question.
Yeah, that's a good question. Can you use spray on ceramic in the sun? Yeah, you can. Just work in smaller sections because it's gonna cure a little bit faster in the direct heat. But yes, you absolutely can use the spray on ceramic in the sun. In fact, I do it a lot. When we're at car shows, that's probably the one thing we're using the most to protect cars is the graphene ceramic spray coating. So yeah.
And then we do offer detail clinics, JC, on TikTok.
Yeah.
Watch out for those. We have them on our Facebook. You'll get notified. Those are always on there. And then Instagram too. We've got a store out in Anaheim, California. They do detail clinics too. And then here at HQ,
Yeah.
Adam usually travels to those, so you get to learn from Adam himself.
The more of the pages of Adam's Polishes that you follow, the more aware you'll be of like detail clinics, events, things like that. So I just stay up to date. Yeah, so this has been like a huge question is like, how are these guys varying? So again, like I've talked about before, this is like a specific tool to me. This is a whole different specific tool for me as well, okay? I would say CS3 and Slick and Slide probably are the closest in family, but Slick and Slide doesn't have really any silica or ceramic properties, whereas CS3 does, all right? So, and listen, you can use CS3 on top of H2O Garden Gloss. So, like I was showing before, if you spray so watch this. If I spray H2O Garden Gloss here, and I do it kind of thick, and I spray CS3 here, it's just so different. Now you can see like this thicker kind of gel formula of H2O is more of a thick kind of, I don't even know how to describe it.
How they know.
Now on this side, when I sprayed CS3, it started to bead on the surface. But this has ceramic properties in it, okay? So this has silica inside of it. So now when I take this and wipe it off, it's just, you use CS3 as a spray and wipe product, okay? It's like, I'd say it's closer to a detail spray or closer to a waterless wash versus the H2O Garden Gloss is more like applying, I can't even say it because it's not really like anything. It's its own sort of thing, you know? H2O Garden Gloss is such a different, unique thing. So I would more say like, God, this is so confusing for people and I'm sorry. But like,
Gotta dumb it down a little bit.
like H2O Garden Gloss, if that's all you're using as your like H2O Garden Gloss would be more of a base layer of protection, okay? Granted, You can absolutely use it on top of a ceramic coated vehicle for shine enhancement and bolstering your ceramic coating, but it's really intended to be a base layer of protection on your vehicle because it's a sealant, right? Now, when you have a base layer on your car, whether it's ceramic coating, wax, or sealant, you put things on top of that to maintain it or to bolster the protection that's still on there. So let's talk about the silo of wax, okay? Let's think of protection agents in silos. So wax, okay? You put a paste wax on your car. We have Americana wax, we have Patriot wax, okay? So that's your base layer of wax, okay? If you want to enhance it even further, you can apply buttery wax, or you could use buttery wax as a base layer. But the spray that you're spraying on top of those to make the wax work and bolster it is spray wax, okay? You're just wax across the board, okay? Now, moving on to the silo of sealant, okay? Before, it's sold out now, but you could apply a paint sealant to a vehicle. Now, if you wanted to bolster that, well, now what it is, your base layer would be H2O Garden Gloss as your sealant, okay? That's your base layer of sealant. Now, what do you do on top of that to bolster it and to maintain it and to keep it going longer, right? To keep the protection and the way your car looks for a longer period of time. You put Slick and Slide on top of that, okay? Because like products work with like products. So a sealant of H2O Garden Gloss and a sealant of Slick and Slide work really well together. So your silo of sealant is H2O Garden Gloss and Slick and Slide on top. Now, what everybody loves and what we talk about the most is your ceramic coating, right? Your base layer, you have 4 options. Ceramic spray coating regular, ceramic spray coating advanced, graphene ceramic coating regular, graphene ceramic coating advanced. That's your base layer you put on a naked clear coat. Then what do you do on top of, how do you maintain that on top of that? Well, we have graphene detail spray, we have graphene CS3, we have regular CS3. Those all sit in like the ceramic family of silo, right? And you use those together because they love it. They want to hang out with each other. They love each other, right? So but again, remember, H2O Garden Gloss to me is a base layer of sealant, but it's a unique tool across the board because you can add protection and dry your car at the same exact time, right? So if you have a ceramic coated vehicle, you can use H2O Garden Gloss every like 4th wash, 5th wash, and it's going to create shine enhancement, but it's going to bolster that ceramic protection that's already on there. So it's a little bit confusing, but generally when it comes to car care, there aren't too many rules around like if you have ceramic on your car, you can't use wax. Well, you can, it's just not going to work great together because they're not like families. So what we tend to tell people is if you put ceramic on your car, use a ceramic spray sealant with it, you know, but listen, the base layers of protection that go on your car are to keep your car looking perfect for longer, but they're also intended to make cleaning your car easier. Now, if cleaning your car is easier, the less damage you're going to put in your car, right? So that hydrophobic effect that I showed earlier of what the water looked like after I sprayed or after I did H2O Garden Gloss, that hydrophobic effect essentially is benefiting your car because if there's dust or dirt or grime on your vehicle and you go to wash it, the water grabs onto those loose dirt particles and takes it and puts it on the ground. So then when you wash, you're not putting as much dirt and grime into the surface. Okay, so that was my crazy rant. I hope that was not too confusing.
Answer the question in there too. Let me know. All the crates back here are for the tent sale.
Yeah, so here
going on Saturday, April 15th.
we'll sign off here in a second, but yeah, Elan's right. So all the stuff you see back here, I know it looks like a mess in the background, but essentially we are having our annual in-person tent sale, which is this Saturday. So what is that? April 15th, I think.
Yeah.
April 15th from 9 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. And essentially what we do is we get, we'll get like returns. And what happens is our customer service team actually starts piecing. They'll take parts off of one return and put it onto another to make it perfect. But, it doesn't have the packaging or anything with it. So what you can do is you can come here. Come check this out, Elon. What you can do is you can come to the tent sale. Yep.
Make
They
sure it's all good.
they've been out here the last 2 weeks putting these all together, testing them, and everything works perfect. But you could come here and you could pick one of these uh, pressure washer 2.0s. Has all the tips with it, has the gun, has the hose, all this stuff, and you can get it for a crazy, crazy price. You know, we used to sell barrel vacuums, right? We found these. These were in our other warehouse, just sitting there. We had no idea they were there. I imagine they knew they were there, but like they just lost track of them. So guess what? They're going in the tent sale. So if you want a nice garage vacuum, there's your garage vacuum. Now, if you want something like here's a good one over here, right?
The location is at H2 Colorado.
Yep.
Colorado.
Thornton, Colorado, 8225 North Valley Highway. Just search Adams Polishes on Google Maps and find the one in Colorado, and that's exactly where you go. But like clay mitts, right? Like the mitt started to fade in color. We're not going to send that to somebody. So guess what? Clay mitt goes into the tent sale. You need some fine grade clay bar, kind of messy, tent sale. You need some borderless gray towels, tent sale. You want some, like this is a great example, okay? This car shampoo, like one of the car shampoos exploded and it got this all nasty and dirty, okay? This has never been used, but there's just nasty soap, dried soap all over it. We're not gonna send this to somebody. We as a business is not gonna send this to somebody because it's a terrible customer experience. So guess what? They go in their own crate and then we sell it at the tent sale. I got soap all over me now. So it's just a great opportunity to get detailing supplies at a very, very good cost. You know, think of it as like it's a garage sale. That's all it is. We just call it a tent sale. So listen, everything's for sale. I'm sure Kai would sell his car if it got offered the right price, but that's not going to be on sale for 50% off. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. We do this every Wednesday, 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. We do go live on YouTube, and sometimes we go live on TikTok. I don't know if we want to make it.
We'll be going live on TikTok.
We'll go live on TikTok every Wednesday for the most part now. So I hope this was helpful. And I know H2O Garden Gloss is sort of a unique product and can be hard to understand. I hope I answered some of the question, but I'm just thrilled with that product and I love it. I use it personally. It's just, sometimes I don't have enough time to pull my car in the garage and do the full drying process. I'll just grab the H2O with a couple towels and do it super quick. So thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys next week. I think what I want to do next week is, yeah, there we go.
Making the tent sale look all nice for you.
But I have a old 4Runner that's white and it has single stage paint on it and it's oxidized and stained from winter. So what I want to do is talk about, should you polish a white car, how you polish a white car, and why you should. Okay, so next week we're going to be talking about polishing a white car. All right, so I'll catch you guys next week. Thank you for watching. Later.